Hey, what's good, everybody? This is Quad B, or BBBB, or Bamboozled Black Baby Boomer. This is Quad. Sorry, I had to mute myself because I had the YouTube thing open, YouTube app open on my computer. And welcome. If I don't know if anybody's going to see that I've gone live, but anyway, it's been a while. It's been about a month since I went live, I actually went live talking about Phil from the Advice Show. Got a lot of views on that. Most of my videos barely get 100 views. This one got over 650. One on Phil. I guess a lot of people want to talk about Phil and, how people talked about, him being pro-black, but yet he's married to a non-black woman. Oh, well, anyway, I'm not even going to get into that. I saw, first of all, I wanted to say I apologize for not having been here. It's been one hell of a past month in the Quad B household. In the midst of preparing for a move, I was offered a consulting position with another one of these small government contractors in the D.C. area. This one located in Virginia, like most of them seem to be. And apparently they hired a company to do some proposal work for them. And what they got back was trash. Lesson: never outsource anything that has to do with writing in English to India. Don't do it. Don't ever do it. Holler at me. If you need writing done, holler at me, because I have a great command of the English language. Believe it or not. I know I stumble over my words and repeat myself when I'm talking, blah, blah, blah. But when I write, I can write my ass off on paper. When I type, hell, shoot, I would say most of my tweets are masterpieces over on Twitter. Oh, anyway, so I came into this company. They were trying to submit 7 proposals, mostly in IT, to the Defense Department, and there were 7 of them. So I ended up working almost damn near round the clock for 13 straight days, and then had to try to move from Virginia or the DC area back to southern New Jersey, which is where I'm coming at you from, believe it or not. I am coming at you from near Camden, New Jersey, which is a stone's throw from Center City, Philadelphia. So I've kind of returned home after an entire decade in the DC area. And who knows, I might get back to DC. Who the heck knows? Who the heck knows? But I just wanted to just holler at you guys and say, hey, let me do one thing here. Let me do one thing. Sorry about this. I just wanted to type a small note. Anyway, one more thing here. One more thing. Okay, I don't want to connect to this. Something work related. Hold on, folks. Hold on. Do this real quick. I'm doing a bunch of stuff on the computer right now, folks. Don't mind me. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Oops. Okay. Anyway. Okay, I'm back. So anyway, I just wanted to just holler at y'all and say I saw that video. By the way, the title of this, hey Gigi, what's up? How are you? Thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. California teacher who threw hands and how that incident relates to my wife's pension case. I couldn't help but put this together. Yeah, I saw that video of dude who was like 64 years old, music teacher would look like the Latino student going, yeah, my nigga, my nigga, my nigga. Now, of course, it's if a student says something, yeah, students are gonna mouth off, and there's not a whole lot you can do if you're a teacher. But what it took me a couple of minutes. I saw the video 2 or 3 times before I finally noticed that early on. What they said was that the teacher made a reference to the fact that the kid wasn't wearing the right uniform or right apparel or whatever, and then the kid got mad. And then what you got to look really closely. What the kid did, he had a basketball in his hand, and he chest passed it and hit the dude in his lower body, probably his thigh or something like that. At that point, I think I might have been tempted to just go full in on him. But dude, the teacher was 64 years old. He got arrested, by the way. He's got a GoFundMe. This got, I think it's close to $150,000 in that chumpy. But anyway, just to cover his legal fees, because lawyers are expensive. So I saw this guy finally, he took off his glasses and he swung at dude and connected. Then he had his cell phone in his hands. He's beating. Of course, he kind of looked like a girl when he was beating that dude, hitting that dude in the head with the phone. And then he swung again and missed, and he swung again and missed. I think I would have loved to have seen him got close enough, turned his body, like if he's a right-handed puncher, pointed his left shoulder at the dude so he could come around straight in with the right and just clock him dead in his nose and drop him. That's what I would have liked to have seen. None of this swinging wildly and hitting like a girl and that, and then of course, dude, a little boy had the nerve, had the unmitigated gall to start cussing at the dude in Spanish after security and whatnot came in to break it up. I don't have the video here. Hey, thank you, Gigi. Nice to hear you. Thank you. Q Wilson, what up? And Underrated, good evening. What's going on? So anyway, I saw that video, got me to thinking about my wife's pension case. Now, about a couple of months ago, me and my wife did a video together just about, in general, just about, being married long term. We've been at it for 32 years. And we talked about her case. And it was sort of the same kind of thing. Student put her hands on my wife, basically ran her down, trying to get to another student, pushing my wife violently out of the way, causing my wife to twist around and throw out her back to keep from hitting the floor, which is, in most high schools are concrete with a thin layer of linoleum. Okay. So that was in 2006. Now, she applied for this disability pension, which is allowed under state law and regulation and judicial ruling. because it was refined by the Supreme Court. It was refined by the state Supreme Court of New Jersey in 2007, the disability pension rule. But so my wife filed for this thing in 2008, and there were some delays in the sense that the doctors the state sent her to represented a company that was a contractor to the state, and they lost a contract or something like that. She went through a couple of these IMEs, and that was through 2010. Again, she applied in 2008. And then from 2010 to 2013, the case sort of languished. And then finally, we got on the horn to some people that a guy I went to high school with, who's now in a high level position in the state. Let's just say he could be governor if he really put his mind to it. I'm not going to mention his name here, but he could probably be governor right now of the state of New Jersey. He managed to call some people on our behalf and got my wife a third bite of the apple in terms of going to one of those IMEs. And this was somebody in Virginia, because we were living in Virginia at the time. And usually when you go to an IME, independent medical examiner, you end up usually, unless you're losing, you've lost a limb or something like that, usually they're going to say, no, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not permanently and totally disabled. Those are the words of the state of New Jersey to do this job. You're not permanently and totally disabled. And that's what we're going to tell the state pension board, so the state pension board can deny you. And at that point, when you're denied, as my wife was in 2013, after seeing this doctor in Virginia who knew no shit about New Jersey pension law, by the way, after that, it triggers a administrative appeals process, which is where we are now. And that was 2013. Fast forward 2 more years. I finally had to jump in and talk to a contact of mine in the Attorney General's office of the state of New Jersey. And my wife they finally scheduled a date for my wife to testify in her behalf. Now, in an ideal world, you'd have everybody there in one day and everybody would testify. It would be a long day, but we'd have it all done. But no, the judicial system doesn't work like this. And I'm finding out that an internal agency administrative process is no better. It's far worse, actually, because the judge really can't. Judges who are administrative law judges it seems to me like they can't sanction people like a regular court judge could, right? So my wife testifies in October of 2015. And then after a few more missed dates, we finally get my wife's doctor, who was her treating neurologist, to testify. In July of 2017, at great expense to us, we had to write her a check for $2,000 for her time. And then finally, today, November 8th, 2018, the state put its 2 doctors on, one an orthopedist, the other a neurologist. Now, keep in mind that my wife was shoved in the back. It knocked her spine out of whack. She had a leg in, her legs were numb, her feet were numb. She couldn't walk that well. And that made it impossible for her to stand for 6 hours to keep an eye on a bunch of rambunctious special needs 9th graders who need to be taught conversational Spanish, because my wife is a Spanish teacher. She's a Black woman who can speak very fluent Spanish, okay? And so, where was I going with this? Sometimes I'm having these senior moments, y'all. So anyway, the problem with this case was she was hit in the back, but she also had MS, which was diagnosed in 2003, which was 3 years before the incident that happened to her. And of course, whenever you have trauma, MS, you don't only have pain, but you have a flare up of MS. It's called an exacerbation, which has other symptoms that I can't get with right now. What's up, Zero? How you doing? Hey, look, we got 6 people watching. Yay. And 4 people hit the like button. I guess I should can I hit my own like button? Yeah, I can. Okay, I just hit my own like button. Cool. Anyway, the state used her MS against her, despite the fact that one of the criteria for getting a disability pension is that it couldn't have been caused by a pre-existing condition, and the pre-existing condition doesn't interfere with the work being done. My wife's MS was in remission. It wasn't affecting her work. She was teaching until this little girl decided to, do a block in the back penalty on my wife. And there was no one around to flag her for 15 yards. That's a football term, by the way. And so we've been going back and forth with the state since 2008. And finally, this administrative process where folks have to testify is over. And we got, there was this doctor this orthopedist who saw her in 2009 testified today. And the neurologist who they sent her to in 2013 down in Virginia testified via Skype from Germany. Go figure. I would have liked to have seen him bring his ass up here to Jersey just so I could stare him down, because I was in the room with him and my wife while he was so-called examining her for 20 minutes and making an opinion that no, she is not permanently disabled. Of course, my wife's lawyer was trying to pretty much undermine his credibility, which I think he did, in terms of asking him what, he knew about pensions and all that. And of course, the state's lawyer is objecting. Oh, it was pretty good. It was pretty, most of this was just arcane, like the testimony today was mostly arcane, like doctor, medical speak, diagnoses and all that. But when they get to objecting, now when the most interesting part is when they actually started, like when the state was trying to object to a certain line of questioning that my wife's lawyer was doing, and then I kind of perked up. I'm like, and then the judge was like, no, I'll allow it. What was it? It was basically, I think it was, I recorded the whole thing. I recorded both doctors' testimonies with my smartphone. Smartphones are amazing. And I think it had to do with, what my wife's lawyer was trying to do was show bias. Of course, we're all biased, but she was trying to show bias because of the fact that he was being paid by the state to say a certain thing. And he asked for it. When they hired you to look at Mrs. Quadby, did the state the state's contractor come up with a list of questions that you had to ask? And of course, then the state's lawyer objected, and this and that, and the judge said, no, I'll allow it. And it was kind of fun. I was like, okay, dudes. Okay, my wife's lawyer, after all these years, she's finally earning his money. Anyway, so the case now. So basically, what's going on now that the two doctors from the state who looked at my wife for a combined hour, okay, now that they're done, now it goes to the judge. Now of course, that's going to be another 3 or 4 month process. But what we were told by our lawyer was that that administrative law judges are allowed to give far greater weight to treating physicians than to just experts. Keep in mind, they had to bring in my wife's doctor, who was a neurologist, who's been treating her for MS, to pretty much tell them no, MS had nothing to do with it. My wife didn't have a back problem before this incident, and MS had nothing to do with it. All the other criteria have been satisfied. And I think I went through this in a video before, but if you're interested, holler at me. And is there anybody else in New Jersey who might happen to be watching this who's going through the same thing with the state? I can't believe that there isn't. But being that this is the black sector of YouTube, there may not be. I don't know. I don't care if you're white, black, Latino, whatever. If you're going through something with the state, let me know, because at least we can compare notes, right? So as far as a pension, fighting them for a pension when you're really hurt, you know what I mean? And I know the state of New Jersey, on a side note, I know they're claiming broke, but that's not our freaking problem. If the state had been putting away money like they should have, dating all the way back to the late 90s, and this was across both Democrat and Republican administrations who failed to fund pensions, and now they're going to claim, oh, the pension fund's going to go broke. Yeah, whatever. Okay. That was, you wanted to instead of putting money aside, the state wanted to use stock market. Oh, let the market take care of it. Forgetting that the market crashes every now and then. Anyway, as I digress. So at this point, or SCMPs, a good listen while stuck in a traffic jam at Reagan Airport. Where are you at, man? Are you like on in Crystal City, or are you on the George Washington Parkway? See, I still know DC like the back of my hand. I only left there 2 weeks ago. So, anyway, what was I going to say? So, again, here's the difference between, this is the problem with partly what my wife has been forced to do. She started teaching in this township where I'm back, where we lived for a long time. She started teaching in 2001. When she was hurt, she would have gone for what was called ordinary disability, an ordinary pension, which is more like 30% of the average of your last 3 years' salary. She would have taken that and been content with it. But instead, because she didn't have enough time in the system, she had to go for the gusto and go for the accidental disability pension, which pays out a straight 72.7% of whatever you're making for life. That's why the state will fight you tooth and nail. They say they're protecting the taxpayers. All right. That would hold water with me, except that there are too many motherfuckers in New Jersey who are practicing double dipping. And by that, I mean, collecting a pension from one state job in New Jersey while working another one. Can anyone say Baskin Robbins 31 flavors? Because hell, you got some folks who are triple dipping. And there was a website. Oh God, what was it? New Jersey Watchdog. I'll link to it. But this guy was doggedly going after after mofos in New Jersey who were double and triple dipping. Come on. If you're in the state of New Jersey and you retired from one public job and took on another, you should not be collecting a pension while still working. That's some bullshit right there. But that's my opinion. That is my opinion. So anyway, and talk about that because, you have these people doing this, but then my wife gets hurt She likes to teach. She sees teaching as her ministry, if you will. And one of the and she gets hurt behind some bullshit. And it ends up costing not just her, but me as her husband and our children, because it's a major economic impact in our household because she cannot work full time like that anymore. And being a unionized teacher, she was making decent money. And I wished I could have stayed up there, but I got laid off of a gig up in New Jersey, and that's what forced me to take my new little skill set to DC. And end up being there for 10 years. How does that all relate to the California case? Well, again, you had a student-teacher altercation. Now, in my wife's case, the police were called, and she didn't want to press charges because she knew that these kids had issues, and she didn't want to do anything to them. Now, me, on the other hand, I was wishing that had been, instead of a girl, and this was a girl chasing a guy out, another little boy outside of the classroom. So my wife was watching the boy in the door when the girl comes barreling into my wife. So that was what happened. It wasn't like they say, well, she was trying to break up a fight. No, she wasn't. Let me tell you something. If you are in New Jersey and you're teaching, and you try to break up a fight between two kids going toe-to-toe or wrestling, and you hurt yourself, you might as well kiss your chances of a pension goodbye. If you insert yourself, I've seen cases where people were denied, where teachers were denied pensions because they inserted themselves into a fight, calling themselves trying to break it up. That's why you're going to see teachers standing back and say, let security handle it, because I'm not getting hurt trying to, separate these knuckleheads. So what I'm going to say is that if that had been a dude that hit my wife in the back, let's suffice it to say that me and my older son, who was a junior at the time. Yeah, he was a junior in the same school. He would have given that, if it had been a dude, he would have given that dude the work. He would have probably got suspended. No, or heck, we might have just seen, I might have been tempted to just roll up on him in his hood and scare him. Yo, man, so what? You like pushing teachers around now? You gonna push a teacher around? You gonna push a black teacher around now? Huh? All them white teachers in there, you got to push a black teacher around. You mess with the wrong one. I think I saw a comment to that effect where somebody said dude should have found the dude, the teacher in California should have found that dude in his hood and whooped and brought some more old heads with him. See, that's the fantasy I have. If I were a teacher and someone tried to mess with me, I'm like, okay. And I'm going to go, get some old heads, and man, don't let our old headedness fool you. We will still bust you up. Anyway, whoa, wow. Oh, let's see. Osirian P. I'm sorry. I'm in the loop waiting to pick someone up at the arrival zone. I know that. Don't you hate the construction has it down to one lane? Always. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and just like holler at you guys and whatnot, and I'll let y'all know that I'm still around. I haven't been really hanging out in the YouTube streets in the last month. And I will say that it's been something of an adjustment coming back here to southern Jersey, but it is what it is. It is what it is. But what else was I going to say? But yeah, that's the connection between the California teacher and my wife's case. I thought there was some. Yeah, there's going to be some linkage there. And I wanted to come on and tell you guys at the very least, at least this piece of it is finally fucking over. So now it's up to the judge. If everything goes well, the state will dump a significant amount of dollars onto my beloved, and it'll help. I won't say what it is, of course, and of course we have to pay the lawyer. Apparently, we have to. The money comes to us, and then she, well, to my wife, and then she pays the lawyer. And at one time, we talked to her lawyer. He said that he had a client for whom he won a case, and dude didn't even pay him out of the lump sum of back pay he got. And they contacted him, they called him, they did everything they could, they did the whole collections thing, and then he said the dude finally died, and he said, karma. I'm like, yeah, I guess no, we're gonna pay this dude, because that's how the system is set up. Excuse me. And I was saying on Twitter, I was talking on Twitter about this whole situation with my wife, and what she's going through is not all that dissimilar to what people go through when they're trying to get Social Security disability payments from the federal Social Security program. It's the same thing. They'll deny you, and then you got to get a lawyer, and then it takes years. It takes a couple of years, 3 or 4 years to finally get a decision. And then in that time, you're not working and you're sinking. It's just a mess. It's a mess. And it's like, I don't know. It's like, there are people gaming the system, I'm sure. But at the same time, why are they gaming the system? Because there isn't any work. The work is dwindling in America, at least for a lot of people. The work is dwindling. And so they look for a benefit. They're looking to see what they can support themselves with. So, and then of course, Social Security, they know this is going on, and they're trying to quote unquote protect the taxpayers. But how much taxpayer protection do the taxpayers need when it's the taxpayers themselves who need the benefits? So not all, but some. It's just like, why does everything have to be so fucking difficult? I don't think, was it this difficult to get stuff done, in the 70s? I don't know. Of course, I wouldn't think about disability and all that crap when I was younger, just like most of us. I don't know. Let me see who else is here. Well, Gigi said, it is scary to retire in America. Hey, Char Willie, the hardest working woman on YouTube. She said she was about to put an APB out. Now, Char, I'm still around. I've been neck deep in a lot of crap. I've been neck deep into it. Matter of fact, I got to go back down to Virginia tomorrow and help these folks out with something else. Yep, trying to get money, trying to get those government dollars by doing IT work for them, and the government is making it harder and harder for small companies to get a foothold. I'm seeing it, and that's something I gotta address. That's something I'm definitely gonna have to address once I get the my GovCon series, Planet GovCon series, back up and running again. So far, I have 4 episodes. Check them out. And hopefully episode 5 won't be too far ahead, won't be too far off. But as I said, it's getting hard. I'm seeing it now with this little small company. It is getting harder and harder to get work in the government, especially when you have budget cuts all over civilian agencies. But the only agency really getting any money especially under the Trump administration, is defense, and maybe defense, Homeland Security, and Veterans Affairs. Heck with everybody else. So you have all these small companies chasing a shrinking, what seems to be a shrinking pie of discretion, of dollars. So, anyway, what time? I got on here a little bit before 5 p.m. Eastern time on November 8th, and it's 5:32 on November 8th p.m. And yeah, I just wanted to holler at y'all and say thank you for your support and thank you for listening to me. And if you catch this on the upload, leave a comment below. And please, like, share, subscribe to the Quad B channel. You see the logo. I would be on camera, but I'm not set up for it yet. You see the 4B logo that I use on my channel, and maybe sometime early next year I'll have much better news, and then Quad B can start making a few moves, because Mrs. Quad B did promise to break Mr. Quad B off if she is successful in getting remuneration from the great state of New Jersey. She did promise to break a dude off, and yeah, I'll take it. And really, the reason I'm up here right now is we had a lease. Our lease ran out in October, and my son graduated high school down there. There's no sense in us keep staying down there, and I am. Miss Quad B is in another state, pursuing her doctorate. Be close. She wants to be close to the school she was going to online. She's now doing the brick and mortar thing, and meanwhile, I'm back up in Jersey living with family. So, at least I don't have to pay that expensive ass rent anymore. But of course, the other thing I got to do is, see what's available for someone who writes for a living. Here in the Philly area. If I have to go back to DC or to Northern Virginia, DC or Maryland, I will, but it's got to be the right opportunity, and and I'm back to paying rent to live somewhere. So anyway, that's about it. But again, as I said, thank you for listening. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for, listening to my rants, and, my connection of this California teacher with my wife's case, because they both have, involved, teacher-student altercations, if you will. Even though my wife was drawn into an altercation, it was not of her making. And that's life. It is what it is. It is life, but I just wanted to share that with you guys. And, by the way, I forgot to also mention something. Tuesday, which was election day, was also my birthday. I am now 1 year away from the big 6-0, which would be I'm 59, and that feels a little weird too, but then again, there's the alternative. I could be 6 feet under. So I'll take every day. I'll take every day I can. So anyway, that's about it, you guys. Take care. And as I always say, this Quad B saying peace, deuces, God bless. And we'll catch y'all on the next one. Take care.